Yes, good morning to everyone. Today we are going to start with the second module, and the first topic from second module is machine independent assembler. That is assembler 2. So before that you have discussed a machine dependent assembler. In that you have studied the instructions, the reallocations, the addressing modes. Here we are going to discuss what are the features of machine independent assemblers. So our learning objective will be, we will learn the features, we will learn the conversion, how conversion will be done, how our source program will be converted into object program that will be ready for execution. And later on we will discuss what will be the different design available for assembly. So first we will discuss what are the features of machine independent assembly. Machine independent assembly will have some new concept that are different from the machine dependent. That is literals. We can define literals, we can create symbols, define them in the instructions, we can create expressions, we can create the program blocks. Instead of one complete program, we can divide our program into small blocks, and later on we can also create control section. Our control can be shifted from one block to another, and linkage can be done between the program and the control section. For all these things, for expression, for program block, for control section, some assembler directives will be done. That directive will be used to define this thing, and we will discuss further in the lecture. So first, what is literals? Literals are the values of constant operand. Okay, it is written here also that literals will allow a programmer to write the values of a constant operand, and these constant operands will be the part of our instructions. Okay, like if you will see these six instructions, in that this is our opcode, this is our constant, it will have some value. Okay, and every literal is prefixed with equal to sign. That is also there, equal to. This is our constant operand, and EOF will be the value for this operand. Okay, and this will be the corresponding object code, and this is the op. Okay, so a literal is defined with prefix equal to followed by a specification of literal value. So here this is a value in this statement, again this is the value in this statement, 05 is the value for this. So these are all the example whose values is a character string and a file. For this constant operand, the value is and of file. The object code for the instruction is also mentioned here. This object code is also mentioned here. Okay, it shows the relative displacement value of the location where value is stored. Where value is stored, it is a displacement value. Okay, the object code, and it is showing the relative displacement value of the location where our value will be stored. Okay, so these are the literals, and it will help us to avoid defining the constant somewhere else and using them in our program, using them by some label. We can define here, we can give values here. So this thing help us to avoid defining the constant elsewhere. So this is what the literal is. Now there are terms used with literal. One is immediate operand and one is simple literals. So it is important to understand the difference between the constant defined as a literal or constant defined as a immediate operand. So we have defined here one constant here one const, but there will be a difference between them. So what will be the difference? In case of literal, if our constant operand is defined as a only literal, then the assembler generate the specified value as a constant and some other memory location. Means, as we told, this is the object code. An object code is actually a displacement value that will tell where our value is stored. So in literals, actual value will be stored somewhere else. Okay, but in immediate operand, the operand value is assembled as a part of machine instruction. The value will be added to machine instruction. It will not be stored somewhere else. Okay, so that is the difference between immediate operand, means value will be immediately there, but in literals value will be stored somewhere else. So compare means we can use to compare the two literals to operands constant values. We can use to compare two constant operand values. Now, what is literal pool? If in our program we have used so many literals, so we can create a pool of that literal. We can create, you can say, a table of that literal, and we can place that at the end of our pool. So that we can term as literal pool, where all the literal that are used inside our program are defined. So normally literals are placed into a pool at the end of the program. Okay, and in some cases it is desirable to place literal into the pool at some other location in our object program. Means when our object program is generated, then literal program, which is actually placed at the end of our source program, but in object program it will place somewhere else in the memory. Okay, and for literal pool, one object assembler directive is lt origin, means from where our literal table is will start, and this literal table will be kept closer to our instructions, because whenever that literal will come, we have to access that literal, and in literal table we can access their values or we can access their addresses. So it is a recommendation that to keep the literal table or literal pool near to our instruction, so that whenever required, we the literals can be accessed from our literal tables. This literal pool will contain the literals which show the assigned address to these literals and what are the generated values for these literals. Okay, in some cases it is placed at some other location in a object program. Okay, and as we have discussed, the directive for a literal pool is lt origin, and whenever this directive will come in our program, one literal table, one literal pool will be created, one literal pool will get generated, and it will contain all the literal operand used since the program start. The literal pool definition is done after lt origin is encountered. But to define all the literals, it will be done after this statement will encounter. Okay, and it is better to place literal, we have discussed, it should be placed near to our instructions. So these are literal pools. What? The pools, the collection of literals with having their addresses, their assigned values, and we have to keep that near to our instructions, and one directive that is lt origin, and whenever it encountered in our program, it will create a literal table for us, and in that all literal will get placed from the starting of the program. Now, duplicate literals. It is the assembler responsibility that it should recognize that two literals should not be same. Okay, like in this statement, two literals are here having 0505 with X as a constant operand. So assembler should recognize duplicate literals and store only one copy of specified data type. Okay, so if two literal will come at the same time, it is the responsibility of assembler. Comparison of defining expression, like if two expressions are there, so how comparison can be done, like both are equal or not. Expression now, so we can check the same literal name with the different values. Okay, means if two literals are there but values are different, so that is the comparison of expression. If we want to make the comparison of expression, that means same literal name with the different values. Okay, and comparison of generated data values, when data value for our constant operand will be generated, how they will be compared. They are usually not great enough to justify the additional complexity in the assembler. Now, literal tag, that is the table for literal. As I told you, it will contain the literal name, the value, the length, the address assigned to each literal operand. Okay, so one literal table will be created when that assembler directive literal origin will occur. This literal table will get generated and it will contain all the literals, the operand values, the length, the address assigned to operand. Now, as it will goes, our program will go into two passes. So pass one will build the literal table with the literal name, the operand, leaving the address unassigned. It may not be clear what will be this address of this literal. It may not be known at all. Okay, when these literals are occurring in the statement, it may not know what will be the address of this literal. So in literal table, we can put leaving the address unassigned. When literal or org statement will encounter assigned address to each literal not yet assigned. Okay, so like we start scanning our code one by one. Okay, every literal keep on putting in literal table. But when this statement will encounter whatever the actual address of those literal, that will be put in this table. Okay, and in part 2, search literal table for each literal operand encountered, generate data values using byte or word statement. Okay, based on byte or it should be in word, the data values will be generated, and generate the modification code for literal that represent an address in program. Modification code will be generated that if any modification we want to do in our literal values, that code should be maintained. Okay, that the code should be maintained, how and what modification we can do with our literal values. Now, till this is our literals. Now we are going to discuss the symbol defining statements. Okay, so first I will give brief introduction about literals again for revision. What are the literals? The term of values that will be given to constant operands, and these can be, these literals will be stored in one literal table. Okay, and whatever the address will be given, that will be generated when literal origin assemble directory will encounter. Then all the addresses of all the literals will be filled in literal tables. Now, symbol defining statement. So, the symbol we can define by using EQ, that is equator, that is assemble directive. If I want to define any symbol, I can define using EQU statement. Okay, and this will be any symbol and equal to what value you want to give to that symbol. That can be a constant, that can be another symbol, or that can be a expression. Okay, so expression will be solved. It will return some value that will be given to equal statement. So most assembler provide a assembler directive, that is EQU, and that is used to specify the symbol and their values. Okay, this statement define the given symbol. If I will write like this, it will define a symbol assigning it to a values. Okay, label on instruction or data areas. What are symbols? These are the labels. We will put on some instruction. Okay, this is my instruction, but I am giving one label to that. Okay, so that is label on instruction or data areas. Value of such label can is the address assigned to the state. Later on, if we will calculate its value, it will can be a address. It will be a address, and that address is the address of this instruction or data area, and it can be assigned some value using EQU. Okay, making the source program easier to understand, and no forward reference, because forward reference will be removed because we are giving value directly here. If we are defining some symbol here, we are giving directly value here, so no forward reference issue will occur. Like maximum length equal to 4096. Okay, so means wherever maximum length will occur, that will get 4096. So if here I'm writing LDT, and this is immediate operand. If you remember, we have discussed in previous slide immediate operand. So max length will get 4096, so it will be replaced by 4096. Okay, now we can use EQU to assign registers also, like R1 will be assigned to base register if we are doing some work, the base value if we want that. R2 register will be given to count. R3 will be used or given to index. So we can assign the registers to symbol also. See, here I'm directly giving one value, one memory address to a symbol. Here I'm giving some registers to a symbols. Now here I'm giving a expression, that buffer and minus buffer. So whatever the value they will return, that will be given to maximum length. So three different values we can give to our symbols. Now, in previous 2-3 slides, we are using symbol. We are defining symbol, but the main directive that we are using is EQE, and it is directly giving value, directly giving 4096 to maximum length. But now one more directive is here, a sampler directive is here, that is used to assign the values to symbol, but it will be indirectly. Not directly I'm giving value to some symbol, I'm putting one value. I'm not defining this value is given to this particular symbol. Okay, so that is using origin, and I will define one value, but it will be an indirect value. So indirectly assigning values to symbol, like reset the location counter to specified value. If I want to reset my location counter, so I will set in some new address using a region. That means from there, my location counter will now start. That value again with the region also, I can give one constant, I can give one symbol, I can give one expression. And here also no forward reference because directly values are here. And in next lecture, we will discuss the example of this region. So thank you for listening.